Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another video. It's after 9 o'clock and it has cooled off where I'm living at. Yeah, feel the heat. So it's not that hot outside because it's nighttime. That's right, it's a quiet Friday night. I have my smartphone aimed at the sky, showing the moon. Yeah, I got the camera lens on my smartphone aiming at the sky, and I'm showing off the moon in this video. Yeah, so it's a really nice night, very relaxing. You know, you can't go outside at an hour like this because I got some paranoid people telling me not to go outside at night because I might get mugged and robbed. Well, I live out in the sticks and it's very, very quiet out here. I mean, no crime going on. Yeah, there's a low crime rate around here, and okay, before I get into this video, let me bring the camera down. Okay, yeah, that's my neighbor across the street. And if something bad happens to me, my neighbor's not gonna come out and see what's going on. Because typical American fashion, Americans just stay in their homes during the day and they never come out, never socialize with anybody. Very weird, very odd. And it's not like that in Latin American countries and countries like that outside the US. Okay, with that out of the way, let me get into this video. So I'm gonna take a walk. So I got the light on my smartphone so I can be able to see what's in front of me. Okay, you saw the title of this video, and the title of this video is Going Abroad with Toxic People Isn't Good for You. And I want to explain why. Okay. Alright, let me, okay, alright. I'm going to explain why. Why it isn't a good idea to go abroad with toxic people. I went overseas with some toxic family members. Most notably, my parents and my sister. So I'm going to do my best not to talk more and give more details about these people. Okay, I remember I went on a Mediterranean cruise with my parents and my sister back in 2023. And I have videos of that trip on this channel, part 1 and part 2. And both of these videos are titled as the first video is Cruise Ship Cruise on the Mediterranean Sea part 1 and also part 2. They're up on this channel. If you guys are new to this channel, you can go check out both of these videos. Well, anyway, I remember I was on this Mediterranean cruise, and on this cruise ship was docked in Naples, Italy, after the ship sailed out of Rome in Italy. And my dad and me decided to go off decided to leave the ship and venture into Naples, Italy. And okay, I was wearing a bright red Canada hoodie that I got on a cruise that I went on with my parents and my sister back in 2013. So from 2013 to 2023, so that was like 10 years ago. And okay, I was on the elevator with my dad, and we just left our cruise ship cabin, and my parents and no, not parents, but yeah, me and my dad left our cruise ship cabin. We shared a cruise ship cabin together, and my sister and my mom shared another one as well. Yeah, we couldn't be in the same cruise ship cabin together. There's like 4 of us, so we had to stay in separate cruise ship cabins. Okay, when me and my dad was on this elevator going down to the bottom floor to head to the exit of the ship, we were on a Royal Caribbean cruise ship. Forgot what the name of that ship was, like something of the seas. It was a Royal Caribbean cruise ship. Okay, me and my dad, we were in an elevator with 2 old women from Canada, and we didn't know they were from Canada. Okay, and one of the women spoke to me and asked me, "Oh, you're from Canada. What part of Canada are you from?" Yeah, she went and asked me this, and because she saw me wearing this bright red Canada hoodie. And my dad interrupted me and wouldn't let me speak for myself. He told this woman that when I was a little boy, I had a thing for Canada, and he kept saying this over and over and over again. After the elevator stopped to let the 2 women out, because the women chose a floor to go to. I guess they were going to the same place that we're going to go to get off the ship to venture into Naples, Italy. Okay, after my dad told this woman this ridiculous story that when I was a little boy, I had a thing for Canada. And I just sit back and didn't want to say anything, because if I open my mouth and say something to my dad, it's going to just blow up into an argument. And my dad is very, very crazy. He's a weird, crazy guy. Old man with dementia. After my dad told this ridiculous story to one of the Canadian women, that when I was a little boy, I had a thing for Canada. And the elevator stopped and opened its doors to let the women out. And when the Canadian women exited the elevator, one of the Canadian women turned and looked at me and laughed and walked off. And that was embarrassing what my dad did. The man wouldn't let me say anything. And my dad preached to me about, I live in America with so much freedom. I have so much freedom. And he didn't give me the freedom to speak for myself. And when that woman asked me a question of what part of Canada that I was from, because she saw me wore the bright red Canada hoodie that I purchased at a souvenir shop in Victoria, British Columbia, Canada, or Victoria, BC, back on a cruise in 2013 that sailed from Seattle, Washington to Juneau and Skagway in Alaska, and back to Victoria, BC, which was the last stop before heading back to the States. Yeah, the woman thought I was from Canada, and I was going to tell her that I wasn't from Canada in the bright red Canada hoodie that I bought. I bought it at a souvenir shop, and I was going to tell her how beautiful her country was. And my dad just cut me off. And my dad just did this crazy thing by saying all this crazy stuff to this lady. Yeah, when I was a little boy, I had a thing for Canada. This man didn't give me the freedom to speak for myself, and just embarrassed me. I don't know why he said all that stuff to that lady, because that was embarrassing. It was ridiculous. Yeah, you know, toxic, dysfunctional family members and toxic, dysfunctional people aren't the greatest people in the world for you to travel to different countries with, because they will embarrass you, they will make you look like a fool, they will make you angry and make you lash out at the locals. And that happened to me. Like, you know, I was around my sister was always telling me what to do on that Mediterranean cruise ship, always telling me what to do. And that made me so angry. Like, okay, she always tell me what to do. Get me a cup of water. Get me this. Get me that. Get me. And I went to this bar, and this man from the Caribbean or the Caribbean, I don't know what country he was from, and he asked me how I was doing, and I just snapped at him and told him to get me a cup of water, because my sister told me to go out and get her a cup of water. And the guy just went and just did what he told me. He was angry. He just didn't say anything. And I projected all that toxicity onto him, because my sister was spewing toxicity all over me. Yeah. And yeah, and also on this failed trip to Shanghai, China in 2025, which was last year, my sister embarrassed me at an airport in Shanghai, China. And this all started when I was with her, and she was like walking really fast and talking really fast, and she just went crazy over all the things that she could buy there. And she asked, "Why come you don't want to be with your sister?" And I didn't say anything. She was like moving really fast. She was just like out there. She was out of control. And when we got to these shops, I couldn't speak for myself. She just jumped in and spoke for me and just did everything for me. And like, you know, and she and my dad are the type of people who just won't let me speak for myself. And I remember I was at a souvenir shop with my sister back on the 2023 Mediterranean cruise, and me and her were in Greece. We were at a souvenir shop, and when I went to buy a flag of Greece, my sister opened her mouth and started shouting it and saying this: "Oh, so Richard, oh, he gonna buy a flag of Greece, flag of Greece." And she was just talking as loud as she can. And these people at this souvenir shop, which were Greek women, they didn't say anything. They just kept quiet. I just asked them, I wanted to buy another copy of the flag of Greece for somebody. And they showed me a vase full of copies of the flag of Greece. And after that, I didn't say anything. And one of the women, there was two women there at the souvenir shop. They were both Greek. And one of the women there said this to me: "Well, I can't help you if you don't tell me what you want." And and when I heard that, and I said to myself, well, yeah. And looking back on it, I said to myself, well, I gotta speak for myself. I gotta talk for myself. I gotta tell people what I want. I gotta do that. Yeah, I gotta do that. And I just can't sit back and don't say anything. But I got some toxic family members who just keep me all silent. And when I speak to them about something, they just ignore me and just go running their mouths about God knows what. So yeah, okay, also back on the 2023 Mediterranean cruise. When me and my dad walked around in Naples, Italy, and my dad didn't want to go there because he already went there. He just took me there to show me around, and like he didn't want to go there, and I wanted to go there because he didn't want to go because he already been there, but he decided to like show me around there, and this was insane. Okay, I was filming Greece, and not Greece. I was filming Naples, Italy, with that old LG smartphone that I did snippet videos for part 1 and part 2 of the 2023 Mediterranean cruise. Okay, and while I was filming, my dad said this to me. While I was filming, he turned and kept saying this to me. Put your phone away. These people will steal your phone. They will steal your phone. And after that, I just went back to filming. And he said it again, and I stopped the camera again. And then after that, I went back doing it again. Because I just want to film the whole thing and show people who view the videos on this channel where I've been, where I went. Yeah, okay, after all of that, okay, the traffic was moving, and people in Naples, Italy, they were terrible drivers, and they were. And my dad just started walking across the street on a red don't walk pedestrian crosswalk light. Yeah, the pedestrian crosswalk light was showing red, saying don't walk. My dad just continued to walk across the street, and I told him stop. He just ignored me, and I kept saying stop. I just went crazy. Then he turned around and said this to me. Look at you, you're acting up. You're clowning. I'm acting up, I'm clowning. I'm trying to stop you from walking across the street because you want to get hit by a car. Then after that, my dad points to these people standing at the crosswalk and wait for the crosswalk light to turn from walk to don't walk. Yeah, the pedestrian crosswalk light. And he said, look what they're doing. And I'm saying, yeah, and I'm looking at this, I'm saying to myself, you weren't doing that. I guess he he was pointing to them and showing me how they were behaving. Which I look back on that, it was just absolutely disgusting. And it was just I don't know what to make of it. It was just like gaslighting. And it was. And yeah, my parents and my sister, they're prone to embarrassing me and making me look like a fool. And oh yeah, going back to what happened at that airport in Shanghai, China, after my parents, my sister and me failed to get on the cruise ship there, and we spent the night at the hotel and to rest up for the next day to catch a flight back to the United States. Okay, my sister, I was with my sister. She was moving really fast. She was talking really fast, and she was just going crazy and being all happy to see all this stuff that she could buy with her money at these shops at this airport. Yeah, and I bought some at these airports too. But I bought some at that airport. Excuse me. And when I was paying for something, I think I was buying some candy, and my sister. Okay, I was giving the woman too much money. I was giving her 100 Chinese yen because I changed my American money into Chinese currency. And the woman told me, this bill is too big. And my sister jumped in and kept saying this repeatedly over and over and over and over and over again. It's just like handling American money. It's just like handling American money. It's just like handling American money. She kept saying it over and over and over and over again. She was looking in my passport folder that had all the money that I had in it. So I turned away to look at the money, and the woman who was the cashier just laughed. And I just come to a conclusion, and I shouldn't be talking about stuff like this in this video, but I had to talk about this, and it's bothering me, and I had to address this. Traveling abroad with Americans who are toxic, who are loop-sided, who are out there, who embarrass you, isn't good for you. I prefer to travel abroad with someone who's well-behaved, who's respectful, who treats me with respect, and doesn't disrespect me and don't make me look like a fool. I prefer to travel abroad with people like that, but I don't see that happening for me. But I'm gonna make that happen. And it's not a person like you who want to travel and see the world, it's not good to travel abroad with somebody who are incredibly toxic, insane, broken-minded, and out there, and traveling with old people with dementia who will say embarrassing things to someone about you. And just embarrass you in front of people from foreign countries. And that's just something I do not want to experience. And I know I can't travel abroad all by myself. I can't do that. But traveling abroad with someone who's just toxic and loop-sided and out there from the States just isn't a good idea. Especially traveling abroad with a nagging woman who just nag, who just tears you down and makes you and embarrassing you and make you look like a fool and have a big loud mouth and have an attitude and doing strange things and not telling you anything. Like going abroad, traveling abroad with somebody just isn't traveling abroad with someone who's toxic just isn't good for you. Isn't good for me or good for anybody who's civil, who wants to enjoy life and travel to different countries and experience different cultures. And like traveling abroad with Americans who don't care about cultures from different countries. Like most notably, I told my sister about an island in Greece where women are forbidden to be on, and the island is strictly for men who are religious, who go there and pray and do religious things on it. My sister I was talking to my sister about this. This was back in 2023, before that Mediterranean cruise. She goes and starts talking to me about the security on a Royal Caribbean cruise ship. What the heck does that got to do with what I'm talking about? Absolutely insane. You know, Americans who act all crazy, uncivilized, who aren't cultured, who are ignorant, and they are prone to embarrass themselves and people who are with them. You know, it just shows, you know, yeah, Americans are rude and loud. They talk loud. You know, and that's why other countries diss the shit out of America and put America down. And, yeah, like, because of how Americans act. How toxic and loop-sided and out there they are. But I'm not going to say that all Americans are like this. It's just those dumb, crazy, ignorant, like, rude, uncultured, toxic, idiotic, jackassery, clown, weirdo, completely out there, ignorant, rude Americans. Those Americans, yeah, I don't like those type of Americans here in the U.S. Yeah, and I think traveling to another country with people like that, it just isn't good for me or anybody. You know, I prefer to travel to another country or any country with people who are civil, who are down to earth, sociable, kind, educated, worldly, and cultured. I want to travel to different countries with somebody who's like that. Yeah, I want to travel to another country with a woman who is sweet, feminine, down to earth, easy to talk to, and approachable. A woman who embraces her femininity. A woman who will talk to me about certain things, who will build me up, not tear me down, like American women and Americans like my sister will. Yeah, I want to be built up, not torn down. And these Americans want to know why the suicide rate in the United States is through the roof, and why these mass shooters snap and do what they do. Yeah, people losing it and going crazy, and they wonder why people do what they do, why people lose their minds. But you know, I'm not gonna say that mental illness just exists in the U.S. Like people are mentally ill. Mentally ill people. Okay. Okay, I'm not gonna say that people who are mentally ill only exist in the U.S. They exist in other countries. But the difference is, you know. Oh, there's a bug. What is that? It's a chewy bug. That's a bug. I heard something. I was showing a bug. Oh, you guys want to see it again? Okay. Yeah, it's a bug. There's insects in my neck of the woods. Okay, like he's getting ready to fly away. Okay, where was I? Okay, I don't want to make this video really long and I'm sweating like crazy out here. Even though it's nighttime and it's nice and cool. But yeah. Yeah, like, you know, going abroad with going abroad with Americans who embarrass you. Well, going abroad with toxic people who are crazy, who embarrass you and tear you down. It's just like, it just isn't good. It just isn't good for you. It just isn't good for you or anybody. Yeah, so I prefer to travel abroad with people who isn't toxic, loop-sided, and out there, who are well behaved, cultured, educated, who will build me up, not tear me down, and educate me and make me feel good about myself instead of making me angry and miserable and bitter and by like embarrassing me and bossing me around all the time and telling me what to do and treat me like a child. Yeah, I'm with some family members who treat me like a child and not an adult. So, you know what? You know, I'm not going to worry about all of that because one day I'm not going to put up with that anymore. You know, I'm sorry about telling you guys all of this. You know, I shouldn't be talking about stuff like this in this video, but I have to do this. I have to. Because I got to address this problem of going abroad with toxic people. All right, that's all I got to say in this video. Yeah, even though it's a nice night tonight, it's a Friday night, crickets are chirping. Yeah. I mean, there's nobody. I haven't met anybody. I mean, the only person I met, in this video, you guys saw it. It wasn't a person. It was an insect. Yeah, it was a bug. That bug can't talk to me. You know, as antisocial and cliquish and closed off and standoffish as the United States is. I mean, the only people you can talk to in this country is wild animals and insects. And as you can hear crickets chirping, yeah, you can talk to them. Which is sad, but yeah, if you do stuff like that, you're crazy. But you know what? Who the hell want to do something like that? We just leave the sinking ship, which is the United States. Get on a plane and leave this country and go to a country where people who are sociable, kind, easy to talk to, who will build you up and not tear you down. Yeah. Go to a country where you can socialize and make friends. Yeah, where the culture is friendly. Yeah, the women are friendly. People in general are friendly. Yeah, go to a country where you can make friends. Find that special someone if you're a guy or a girl. All of that. It's better than being trapped in the US and just going crazy and losing your mind over people who will drive you crazy and gaslight you and fill your head up with bullshit. Okay, I think that's about it. Alright. Thank you for watching the video. More videos to come. Merci beaucoup. Good night from my neck of the woods. So, good night, and thank you for watching the video. Ciao. Au revoir. Merci.